The sun was bright and the sky was clear when the truth finally began to unfold. But despite the perfect weather, there was no warmth in Gao Tu's eyes. His face turned pale the moment he saw Shen Wenlang, the alpha he had once loved and the man he had run away from. The reunion everyone had been waiting for was far from romantic. Instead, it was raw, painful, and full of years of misunderstanding. In the novel's ending, we finally understand why Gao Tu disappeared, why he left without saying goodbye, and why Shen Wenlang never stopped searching for him. As Shen Wenlang stood before him, holding his godson Peanut, he forced himself to stay calm. He had rehearsed this meeting in his mind countless times. But seeing Gao Tu again, holding a child in his arms, was far more difficult than he imagined. That moment breaks Shen Wenlang's composure. He asks a question that had haunted him for years. Is that my child? And Gao Tu, frightened, trembling, protective, immediately says no. That single word crushes Shen Wenlang. The pain of rejection, the confusion, and the guilt all hit him at once. He doesn't understand why Gao Tu is so afraid, or why he would deny something so obvious. But the reader knows, Gao Tu isn't lying because he wants to. He's lying because he's terrified that if Shen Wenlang learns the truth, he'll take the child away. That child, Gao Lele, isn't just anyone's child. He's Shen Wenlang's son. But Gao Tu's fear runs deeper than that. He's been through years of hardship raising Lele alone, moving to a foreign country, and constantly being on the run with Ma Heng, the alpha who helped him escape. To everyone else, Ma Heng seems like Gao Tu's partner, but in truth, he's more like a friend who took responsibility when Shen Wenlang couldn't. When Shen Wenlang's bodyguards restrain Ma Heng, the tension in the air explodes. Gao Tu, terrified, begs Shen Wenlang to let him go. For a brief second, Shen Wenlang softens, because even in that desperate plea, Gao Tu says, "Our business has nothing to do with him. Our business." Those words ignite a small flame of hope in Shen Wenlang's heart. He approaches gently, trying to speak without scaring Gao Tu, but every move he makes just reminds Gao Tu of the hurt he once endured. Shen Wenlang doesn't understand how much his coldness years ago had destroyed the Omega's trust. Once they're in the car, the distance between them is thick with unspoken emotion. Shen Wenlang tries to reach out literally and emotionally, placing his hand gently over Gao Tu's. But Gao Tu flinches away. He's so used to protecting himself that even kindness feels dangerous now. The irony is heartbreaking. Shen Wenlang, once known for being domineering and confident, now behaves like a man walking on glass, afraid that one wrong move will make Gao Tu disappear again. And yet, the child in Gao Tu's arms, little Lele, keeps staring at Shen Wenlang with innocent curiosity. Despite never meeting his father, something inside him recognizes the bond. That's when Shen Wenlang notices it. The faint fruity pheromone on Gao Tu and Lele, it isn't his scent. It's Ma Heng's. The realization cuts deep. For Shen Wenlang, it feels like betrayal, but for Gao Tu, it's survival. Ma Heng's pheromone is what kept other alphas away. It's what protected him and Lele. Even so, Lele isn't afraid of Shen Wenlang's presence. He's curious, drawn to him. That natural, unconscious connection only strengthens Shen Wenlang's growing suspicion this boy is his. Meanwhile, the little boy Peanut, who calls Shen Wenlang dad, unknowingly adds salt to the wound. Peanut is Hua Yong's child, Shen Wenlang's close associate, but not his biological son. Gao Tu misunderstands, believing Shen Wenlang has built a new family with someone else. So when he forces a smile and says, "Congratulations," it's his way of saying goodbye again, pretending he's happy for the man who broke his heart. Shen Wenlang realizes too late what Gao Tu must be thinking. He wants to explain that Peanut isn't his, that he's been looking for Gao Tu for years. But the words catch in his throat. He's terrified that anything he says might push him away again. When Gao Tu lowers his gaze and calls him Mr. Shen, it feels like the final knife to the heart. It's the same voice that once whispered love to him, now cold and distant. Gao Tu apologizes, saying he's already aborted the child and doesn't want money. He just wants peace. But his trembling hands and the child he clutches tightly betray him. That moment is when everything changes for Shen Wenlang. He realizes how badly he had hurt Gao Tu, how his arrogance and misunderstanding destroyed the one person who had loved him sincerely. Gao Tu's voice shakes as he says, "Please don't hurt my child." For the first time, Shen Wenlang truly sees how afraid Gao Tu is not of him as a person, but of the power he holds. The alpha who once thought love meant dominance now understands that love requires gentleness. The flashbacks in Shen Wenlang's mind reveal how pure their relationship once was. Gao Tu's stubbornness, his pride, his innocence. He wasn't like the others who flattered Shen Wenlang for his money or power. He argued with him, teased him, challenged him. And that's exactly why Shen Wenlang fell in love with him. Now, seeing that same man begging humbly for mercy is unbearable. Shen Wenlang's heart breaks, and for the first time, the powerful alpha feels powerless. He can't turn back time. He can't undo the pain, but fate gives him one small miracle: Peanut and Lele. When Peanut climbs onto Shen Wenlang's lap and begins chatting with Lele, innocence fills the heavy silence. Lele takes off his Mickey Mouse mask and hands it to Peanut. That's when Shen Wenlang sees it clearly. The child's face. His own reflection staring back at him. Lele looks exactly like Shen Wenlang. His eyes, his jawline, even his expression. There's no doubt left. In that instant, Shen Wenlang's pain turns to joy. All the bitterness he carried melts away. He finally knows the truth. The child Gao Tu tried so hard to protect is his son. 3 months later, peace finally returns, but not completely. Gao Lele starts noticing small changes. His father, Gao Tu, often disappears late at night. The boy doesn't understand what's going on, but readers know. Shen Wenlang has moved in next door, unable to stay away from his family any longer. He's the new neighbor, the same man who once stood across oceans searching for them. Now he's right beside them, helping to rebuild what was lost. Lele senses it too. Even when flowers aren't blooming, the faint scent of sage and iris, their combined pheromones lingers in the air. It's the scent of safety of home. One night, when Lele wakes up and sneaks out of bed, he sees what the adults have been hiding. His father, Gao Tu, and the new neighbor are in the living room. Shen Wenlang, unable to hold back, asks for one more kiss. Gao Tu laughs softly, warning him not to wake the child. Shen Wenlang refuses to let go, whispering playfully that they should stop pretending. He even jokes that Lele should sleep next door since whose parents don't sleep together. It's a quiet domestic moment, gentle and healing. Gao Tu smiles, tells him to go home and promises to come by once Lele is asleep. And when Gao Tu returns to check on his son, Lele opens his big bright eyes and says the line that melts every reader's heart. "Dad, if you want to go next door, you can do it now. You don't have to wait until I fall asleep." That innocent permission marks the end of all the running, all the hiding, all the pain. The child's acceptance symbolizes forgiveness and reunion. Gao Tu smiles softly, touched and embarrassed. And as he tucks Lele in, the story ends on a note of peace. For years, fans have debated whether Abo Desire would ever give Shen Wenlang and Gao Tu the ending they deserve. The drama version left viewers hanging, cutting off before this beautiful closure. But the novel gives them everything: the confrontation, the truth, the healing, and finally, the family they were always meant to have. Gao Tu, who once lived in fear, finally learns to trust again. Shen Wenlang, who once loved through control, learns to love through patience. And little Lal, who grew up longing for stability, finally gets a home filled with both love and laughter. The novel's ending isn't just romantic, it's redemptive. It tells us that even after years of pain, misunderstandings, and distance, love can still find its way back home. For fans who felt disappointed by the drama's finale, the novel gives closure. It gives hope. And most importantly, it reminds us that Shen Wenlang and Gao Tu were never meant to end in heartbreak. They were always meant to find each other again. So while the screen may fade to black without answers, the novel's pages leave no doubt. Their story doesn't end with separation, it ends with reunion, forgiveness, and a new beginning next door. Because sometimes, love doesn't need a grand gesture. Sometimes it just needs one small voice saying, "Dad, you can go now." If this ending touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Abo Desire updates and untold BL stories.